Hey everyone, my name is Linda Jenkins and I am a motivational speaker and coach to new businesses and lady entrepreneurs. Today we are going to be talking about taking action. So many times when we've got our goals set, for one reason or another, we find that, obstacles are going to come into our way. I kind of think it's like somebody just like working against you. Even when you want something positive to happen, there's always a roadblock, it seems, that comes up and wants to block you from performing whatever action it is that you're wanting to take. So today we're going to address that and see what we can do to mentally focus our minds on what actions we can take so that we can get past the fear stage, or the stage that is causing you to have negative emotions, so that you can go into the more positive, solution-oriented portion of resolving your issue. So before we get started, I do want to ask that you like and share this video. That's the only way anybody hears about what I am doing to help ladies out. So I ask that you please like and share this video because you never know when that one share helps somebody in need. So today we're going to be talking about taking action. When you want to take action, first you need to kind of clear your mind and decide what it is that you want to do or work towards. What's your goal that you have in mind? Now, I know people say, oh, just write it down. Well, there's more to it than just writing it down. In the second stage, writing it down, you want to be careful. Be specific on what it is that you are trying to resolve. If you just put down, the size of the world, that's not going to help you determine what your specific goal is. So be very careful. If it's, baking a cake, what is that cake going to look like? What, how many layers is it going to have? What kind of ingredients am I going to have? Be very careful. Be very specific on what it is that you're wanting to accomplish with this action that you're going to be taking. The next thing is when I'm going to focus toward the ladies. I'm being kind of, I guess, chauvinistic or whatever you want to call it, generalistic. I don't know. Anyway, you're going to write down the process of making that action take course. Now, if you think about a recipe card, at the top you have the name of the recipe. That's where you're going to be taking your action, okay? Then you have your ingredients, okay? In your ingredients, you might have a cup of sugar, a cup of, pineapple, or whatever it is that you're going to put into that cake. You're going to write down those ingredients, okay? When you are getting ready to set your goal for taking your action, you got to write down carefully the steps, or not the steps, just what is necessary to actually get the goal that you have in mind, correct? Okay, now let's go back to the recipe card again. So you have first the name of the cake, then you have all of the ingredients, and then what's next? It's the steps or the process that you're going to take to get that cake, batter made before you put it in the oven, right? So we're going to look at the process goes, the methodology that you're going to have to take to get your goal off the ground. So in that aspect, in relation to a recipe card, where it says, in your dry batter, you're going to put in your cake mix, your sugar, your dry mix items, okay? It might be some kind of vanilla or something like that. You're going to put that into your dry mix items. Then on the other side, you're going to have your wet mix items that you're going to put in, like your milk and your butter, if it's melted butter, or whatever it is that you have for wet ingredients. It might be like Coke. If you're making a Coca-Cola cake, on the dry ingredient side you might have like cocoa, those two things, okay? So you have your wet and your dry ingredients with baking a cake. Well, with the taking action where you're building your process, you're going to also have things that you can, do right now. And then you're going to have things that, are going to require assistance from other people. Be specific, just like what you are with the cake recipe. Be specific on what you're writing down. The next thing is tell somebody about it. Okay, well, on a cake recipe, you don't really have to tell anybody because, they hear mom in the kitchen making a cake and the kids all come running, wanting the cake batter, So on the side for taking action on whatever your action is that you're wanting to take, tell somebody about it. It's the equivalent of smelling that smell of that chocolate cake or whatever it is that you're making, correct? Well, on taking action, you've got to tell somebody about it because you don't have anything, well, we hope, that is going to be smelling, okay? You're going to be actually, telling somebody, whether it's a group of women that you're in the group with, on Facebook, your cousin, your sister, your mother, your brother, your son, your daughter, your husband, whatever it is, or whoever it is, tell somebody, hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is how I want to do it. Okay, this is what I need. Now, after you've told somebody, your next thing is you have to break your goal down, correct? So, in the cake recipe, you've made the batter. You've prepared your little pans. You got to get that prepared, with a little bit of butter around the edge so the cake doesn't stick. And then you also want to, put a little bit of flour or a little piece of wax paper so it doesn't stick. It's easy to remove, correct? Okay, so that's breaking down your goal. That is the portion of, okay, I want that batter to go into that cake tin, right? Or that 2 or 3 cake tins, depending on how many tiers you want on your cake. Okay, so then let's go back over to our action side. So that's over here, right? On your action side, you need to break down your goals. What is your next best step? You're going to write that down. And then after you take that step, what would be, in your own mind, what would that be for your next best step? And plan out your first step of action that you're going to actually take. And at this point, you're just planning it out. You've not actually taken the step. You're just, this is everything being formatted either on your mind or on paper that you're writing it out. Okay, this is after you've had your discussion with your friend and they kind of give you ideas. Well, you might try this or you might try that. Use their input to help you plan your first step. So now we're back over on the cake side. We're going to move over here on this side, okay? Okay, on the cake side, you're planning your first step. That is taking and mixing the dry and the wet ingredients together, right? Because you got to fold that in because you don't want to beat all that up because if you do, you have a cake that's, not nice and airy, right? So you have to fold the wet into the dry or the dry into the wet, but you do it gradually. You do it slowly so that, you keep that whipped up, batter so that it's light and fluff or light and airy. Okay, so once you have it all mixed together, okay, that was the breaking down of your goal and all of that and your next best step. Your next best step is actually pouring that into, your pan. Okay, but then you think, oh God, I forgot to set my oven. What do I do now? Set your oven, get it up to temperature, okay? You don't have to mix the ingredients. Going back and forth, making sure where you're at in your progress, that's a normal thing, right? So make sure your oven is preheated and then go ahead and pour your batter together, mix it up, and then you put it into the cake tin. Okay, now we'll go on back over here to this side. This is where we're talking about our next step. Okay, so this is where you're actually going to begin taking that step. And if you recall, in the past, I've told you about inch by inch, life is inch, yard by yard, life is hard. So inch by inch, that's taking those little tiny steps. It's going to get you, this is the testing phase where you're like, oh, okay, is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? You get nervous, but you keep thinking positive because you keep reinforcing in your mind that that action is the correct action to take at that particular time. So you take a step, you look around, hey, it worked, yay! So then you take another step, look around, woohoo! It's still working. Okay, so that's where we are on the plans, okay? So now, back over to the cake pan. On the cake pan side, okay, we've got the cake batter mixed up from the bowl. All the ingredients are in it. We put it into the pan. And now, ta-da! The oven has had time to heat, right? The pre-temp ding-ding-ding bell is rung, okay? So you gently place it in there and you close the door. And then you wait your 45 minutes to an hour, whatever it is, for that cake to rise, okay? That's not going to happen, boom, instantly, right? It takes time. So that's your inch by inch by inch, okay? Inch by inch. Your oven will continue to bake that cake in there, and it will eventually arise. It will eventually let go of the sides, and you will be, it smells so wonderful in here. Yeah. What happens if you leave that cake in there too long? Uh-oh, we got burnt cake, right? So this is your testing phase. You want to make sure that your cake has risen to the proper height and it's done in the center and all of that, and that you haven't overcooked it. So you do that by what? By sight, by smell, by listening for the little dinger, by using a little toothpick and, pricking the center to make sure, looking at the cake to make sure it's let go of all the sides. All of that stuff is, you going back and confirming that everything is okay. And what is the other thing? Kids don't run in the house because your cake's going to fall, right? So let's go back over here. Okay, where you're keeping going inch and inch, inch by inch, inch by inch. Okay, when those kids ran through the house and that was an obstacle for that cake baking correctly? Ta-da! Guess what? You're going to have kids running through your house when it comes for you taking that next action. Right? Okay, so you have to be prepared for those uh-oh moments. And if you're just taking small steps, you're going to be able to, correct that action. Right? Okay, so now let's go back over to the cake. Okay, cake's done. Ding! What do? You get your mitts, you pull it out, you put it on the baker's rack, you let it cool, and you get ready to put it over onto the plate. And, what did we forget? We forgot to make the icing. So, whether you bought your icing or you had your icing already made, whatever, we're going to go ahead and say the icing's done, okay? So, you're ready to ice the cake. Now, how does a professional ice a cake? Anybody know? After they put it out and they've leveled it off and they put their little bitty amount of icing in between each layer, then they go back and they circle around the cake with the first layer of frosting, right? Then what do? So that they have their beautiful cakes. They take that cake and they put it in the refrigerator and they let it sit for 30 minutes. They let that icing kind of harden, right? Then they bring it back out and then they put their final frosting around it. That ensures that there's not going to be any kind of crumblies in your icing. That's going to make sure that you have a smooth finish to your cake. And it's going to make it look more professional. You can put all your little doodads and stuff on it, right? Well, let's go over here to the business side. Again, with your business, you're going to keep on going. You're going to keep on striving. You're going to keep on reminding yourself, what's my next best step? What's my next best step? What's my next best step? Don't get hung up on the negative. If you get hung up on the negative at this part, all it's going to do is it's going to send these signals to your brain that tells you how bad of a person you are. And believe it or not, if you speak negatively to yourself, you're eventually going to start believing that. If you tell yourself you're overweight, you're going to be overweight because you're going to do the things that your mind is telling you to do, which is eat and not exercise or whatever. However, if you take and you tell yourself, oh, I'm as skinny as, I don't know, Demi Moore, whoever, you will eventually start bringing into your life those things that are going to make you lose the weight, get back in activities, even if it's just walking around the block, one time a day. That is a celebration. That's a small success that you've done along your way. Because, you're one block ahead of whoever's sitting on the couch over there, right? Because they ain't done nothing. However, you've walked your 1 block today. That puts you ahead, right? It's one small step, but you've done it, and you should celebrate it. Not by going down and eating a cheeseburger, but just saying, "Yeah, I did it." Pump yourself up like you pump other people up. You'll succeed, right? All right, let's go back over to that cake. I'm talking about weight loss and talking about cake at the same time, girl. Oh, Lord. Okay, anyway, so we got the cake done. We got it iced. It's all pretty. What do? We set it on this beautiful little cake plate, and we present it, and everybody has a piece of cake. Yay! Everybody's happy, right? And then you're happy because your house smells good. Everybody's happy. They're fun, Let's go back over here. What about our business? What about what have we been telling each other? What have we been acting? How have we been acting? We got to take that first step. That's that taking action step. That's what's getting us over into our new area. That's what's getting us into our new goals, right? Always, always, always trying to be building. Always, always, always trying to take that next step. Always, always, always talk to yourself positively. Don't talk to yourself in a negative way. Always. It doesn't even have to be real. Okay? It does not have to be real. Because if you keep on telling yourself, I am the best at whatever it is that you do. I am the best Uber driver. I am the best motivational speaker. I am the best at doing my job. I am the best at selling my jewelry. I am the best at, doing whatever it is that you do. Guess what? Within 3 months, you're going to say, boom. Okay? There is going to be an action that your body subconsciously makes to get you to that point. And you got to remember, once you get to that point, don't just stop there. Think of something else. Keep on motivating yourself to get to the next step. That way, you will become your success. So, with that saying, let's kind of go back over everything that we discussed today. Taking action. Decide. Think of something you want to work toward or something you want to do that's special in your life. Number 2, write it down carefully. Be specific. Don't always put it to your business, whatever your business goal is. Don't do that. Use this as your own personal growth. Okay? Because if you are giving off negative vibes to yourself, you're going to give it off to somebody else. And that's not right. You've just ruined somebody else's day and you didn't need to. Talk positive to yourself. Write it down. One good thing that you're going to do. I've asked before, people, please give a compliment to 10 people today or 10 ladies today. See where you'll be in 3 months. That's positive reinforcement. Number 3, write down your process goal methodology. In other words, how are you going to do it? Think of the cake recipe. After the ingredients, after you turn on your oven, you have your process. Those are small steps that take to give you the cake that you desire to have. When you're in your business, you got to write down the process. When you're in your personal life, what are you going to do to get that goal to take effect? That's what you need to do, okay? Number 4, tell someone. When it was baking a cake, it was telling somebody by the smell of the hearing of the beaters in the mixing bowl, the smell of the cake batter, right? The smell of the cake as it was cooking, the smell of the cake as it came out of the oven, the little clanging and stuff. Everybody knew the cake was almost done, right? All right, so tell somebody, tell a friend, tell a cohort, tell somebody that is your acquaintance, tell Facebook, who cares? Tell somebody that's going to hold you accountable, and if they don't hold you accountable, you find somebody else that will. You need somebody that says, hey, you told me that in 3 months you're going to do that. You're 1 month away. What have you done to do it? Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Come on. Step 2. Okay? Number 5, break down your goals. What's your next best step? What's your next best step? That's what you need to be taking right now. That's what you need to be taking today. That's what you need to be doing so that you can progress toward that goal that you've set. Plan your first step. That's number 6. Plan it. Not only what you need to do, but how you're going to do it. If you need special things to get that next step done, what is it? And how are you going to take it? You need to plan that out. Okay? That's the directions on the recipe card. Okay? Keep going. Keep motivated. Inch by inch, inch by inch, inch by inch. You will climb that mountain, right? Rabbit in the hare won, right? While the rabbit sat back and did nothing. They sat back on the couch while you were still moving. You might have just walked around the block. You might have walked from here to your mailbox. But you're still ahead of whoever's sitting on that couch. Keep that in mind. The next thing is celebrate your small successes. If you walked up a flight of stairs and you hadn't done that in 12 years, that's a success. And there are plenty of people that is a success for. Getting up and walking and going to the bathroom by yourself. Some of these people are really overweight. They can't get up. They tell themselves they can't. But if you practice every day, boom, 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 next thing you know, you're up out of that bed. So celebrate your small successes along the way. Even if it's an inch, even if it's an inch of body mass gone, or even if it's, you got your car oil changed so that you can make your next trip. Whatever that small success is, celebrate it and say, ha, yes, I did it. And then continue on to your next step. Okay? So I know this has ran a little bit long today, and I thank everybody for watching. Again, my name is Linda Jenkins, and I am a motivational coach and speaker, and I help small businesses and lady entrepreneurs gain success in what their life is. I ask that you please like and share this video. Please remember to share it. Don't just hold on to these little tidbits. Share them out. Get people, aware of what's going on here, because, I'm excited about it. These are my steps. These are my goals. And so I'm asking you to help me, because you can't always do everything by yourself. That's why I'm asking you. So anyway, till I see you again next time, ladies. Again, my name is Linda Jenkins. Always have love, peace, and hope in your heart, and share it with someone today. Thank you, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.